Hello, good afternoon from Toronto. Uh, it's a very unusual, windy, and relatively very cold day today. Yesterday was even colder because we had rain, and it's pretty sunny, so we must not complain. But still, all the jackets had been put off, put into our cabinets, and we had to take out our jackets to get out if we had to. So thank you very much for joining in, and please mention your name. Well, I'll see your name, but your place where are you joining in from for this live session. Very excited to have our second in series of several planned sessions today, and we have Erika, Sabrina, Jojo, who is a dear friend, and I call her a guru. She is a social media guru. Uh, she has done her qualifications from Humber College, one of the most prestigious colleges in GTA, and now she has her own agency, and she works for well, I think it's world's largest networking platform, business networking platform called WSI. So without any further ado, I am bringing her live here. Get ready with your questions because the way we will discuss certain things that we wanted to discuss in this session to build your knowledge about LinkedIn and how LinkedIn can help you, and then we will take your questions. So here you go. Hello, Erika.
Hi guys, how's everyone doing today? Thank you for
Yes,
having me on.
yeah, everything is great. I was again, sort of complaining about a bit chillier day today, but then I realized, it's sunny at least, so we must not complain.
Yes, it's not snowing. Yesterday it was snowing here.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah, we had some flurries. We had some flurries uh, in this part of GTA also. So Erika lives in the east,
No,
from where you live
I'm in
in the
the
east.
west. I'm in the
You're,
west.
oh yeah, you're in the west. I'm in the east. So I'm in Oshawa, and she's in Toronto. Uh, but uh, we meet off online since pandemic, and pandemic has really opened up so many opportunities for people who could not connect earlier because of so many things, distances um, a- and the attitude people had, like, you have to meet people in one on one, and you only have that much time and that much resources to do that. But now we meet virtually, and we literally meet people from all over the world, and this is what I'm going to just share with all of you online, Erika. As we continue our discussion, I will share people who are joining in today's session, and hopefully we are going to share some interesting knowledge with them today. So my first discussion point, Erika, is about, and this is what I get all the time from my clients, because a lot of them started with Facebook, they have LinkedIn profiles, but mostly their LinkedIn profiles are not that active. So the question I get usually is that what is the real difference between having a profile on Facebook and having a profile on LinkedIn? So I will just start with this basic question. As you respond, I will introduce those people who are with us today.
Sure. So Facebook is more of a personal platform and LinkedIn is more of a professional platform. However, with that being said, what ends up happening is sometimes, Facebook can intertwine with the professional side through Facebook groups and if you're connecting with somebody within your sphere, oh, I have a job here or there or things like that. So it can be on the professional side, but LinkedIn is the one that is for the most part strictly professional, and in terms of how you connect is a little bit different than Facebook. There's first, second, and third types of connections. Facebook just has 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's great. So as you can already see that we have people joining in from India, from Pakistan, from Toronto, from Dubai, from California, um, and I've introduced so far 8 or 9 people, but really wanted to mention a couple of names. As I scroll down, I will recognize everybody who is joining in and asking questions. So um, my dear friend Doreen Fernandez joining in from Pickering, Ontario, and Doreen is just phenomenal. I mean, this is the only word I can actually use for her, and she's the one who really supported me morally as well as with her network when I started my initiative and when I was really looking for to expand. And she's an active member of Connecting GTA. So am I, which is a business group in GTA, and she is a phenomenal writer also. So and the writer of the caliber I have not seen. So Doreen, thank you very much for joining in. She has been part of my sessions, training sessions. Dear friend Shahzad Gidwani, Shahzad is a marketing guru, and he works for some massive global brands in Europe and in Kuwait, and now establishing himself in Canada. So thanks, Shahzad, for joining in. Um, Huzefa, very typical Pakistani style of saying hello, boss. Huzefa worked with me for 14 years in Pakistan, and he is a business consultant and has also attended my training sessions. And actually, we are working together on a possible partnership in Pakistan with Huzefa and one more person. Govind, thank you very much from Delhi. I've been to Delhi only once, so Delhi is a great place indeed. Nice food. So we stop here, and please keep commenting. I will introduce everyone later on as we go along. So you rightly said, Erika, Facebook is, I would call it more generic. So there are people from all walks of life, and they are doing all sorts of things on Facebook, whereas LinkedIn is can be very targeted. Let's put it this way. Not everybody um, actually understands how relevance and targeting is really important on LinkedIn rather than just having a very large network. If your network is what I say is a lot of the GIGO principle works on GIGO principle, which is garbage in, garbage out, then you're not going to get any benefit of it. So and what we do when we coach people on building their network, we actually focus on how do you build your relevant and targeted network, and that is the thing to go ahead. You are a coach or a social media marketing person or an influencer. You have to be very, very targeted in your approach on LinkedIn. And I'm actually picking this with Gayasur Rahman, and he said he has above 2,000 connections in his network, which is a great network. It is good because you can only have up to 30,000 in per profile. So if you have any question, Gayas, or anybody, please ask questions, and we'll take questions later on. So how many people do you think, Erika, in your view, should people be looking at? Like, I know people are struggling between couple of hundred and below 1,000 kind of a network. What is your view? How many should be what we call optimal?
That's a great question. So, first of all, I think you should also be looking at the kinds of connections, right? It's better to have one great connection than 500 connections. So I wouldn't say there's a limit or there's a suggested number. What I do for myself personally, this is my goal, is I try to connect with someone on a deeper level every single day. But it's not good either to just, keep just add people and not say anything at all, right? So you can have one connection, you can have 500 connections, you can have 2,200 connections. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. You need to get on a deeper level with people. If you're always on a surface level, you're not going to make any deep level connections. You're not going to be able to get a job. right? Rather than just being in the pool of the 1,000 people that apply for one particular job. Or you're, at the end of the day, we're all on LinkedIn or on Facebook or whatever social media it is to sell. We're selling ourselves. So if you cannot, it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many connections. 500 obviously is always good, and because it has the 500 plus, right? And you can't really, afterwards, it shows that you're very established, but also take into account too, look at people on Instagram or on Facebook. I can have so many friends. Am I actually connecting with them every single day? So also take that into consideration. Another thing too is, and Hammad, actually, maybe you can answer this question for me. This week I was doing a lot of sales, right? And so when I start adding a lot of people or I start connecting with a lot of people, sometimes it also thinks that I'm a bot. Like it said to me this week, it said, make sure you're adding people that you're connecting with, on a personal level. So what is your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, what I always say that you have to be targeted. You cannot be random. I mean, even adding too many people, if you are even targeted, you are still random because that. I mean, I have like couple of hours every day that I spend on my personal profile. I work on other people's profile. I work on optimization. I do coaching and everything. But on my own profile, I spend about couple of hours every day. But in those couple of hours, I have to really optimally utilize my time, which means that I have to be very engaging with anybody who's commenting on my post, and also engaging people that I really want to target, rather than just simply keep adding a lot of people. Because I mean, if I have 29,000 connections, but for me, okay, I'm different, for instance, because for me, I'm in a business. For me, 800 million people on LinkedIn are my customers, potential customers. But for individuals who are looking for either job or very targeted business, they have to really identify who they really want to connect with. And once they're connected with that person, they should really engage with that person, because a connection is a good connection only if that connection recognizes you as a good connection. Yeah. So ultimate objective is that people should start connecting with you and recognize you as a potentially good connection for them. And then it becomes easier to sell. I mean, sell your profile, or find a job opportunity, or connect with someone at a very senior level. So my response to your long response to your short question is that even if you're connecting with 10 people every day, you really need to evaluate yourself whether these 10 people are valuing you as a connection or not. If they don't, then you should really reduce your connection number of connection you're adding, 2 or 3, but engage with them and slowly build up your momentum. This is what I coach and I preach. By the way, we have Anju Kakkar joining in. So Anju, thank you very much for joining in from Etobicoke. And Anju is a great person. She's a poet, by the way. So if anybody wants to connect with her, go ahead, please do that. Yeah. So right. So this is what people usually are confused with is that number. I think number is important, because once you grow your number, then you get kind of technically get credit from LinkedIn's algorithm, and you will be shown more like to your network. But it's not only the number; it's a combination of various things. So, for instance, how optimized your profile is. Are you searchable? So, are you appearing in LinkedIn search? Not the views only. Views are okay. That's a very basic benchmark. But are you appearing in search? So, people are landing on your profile by searching for the certain keywords. Are you doing that? Number two, whether you are able to build communication with the people you want to build that communication with. If that is happening, then your connections and all that is good. Um, and how often do you add quality content on LinkedIn, which is the key. It's like your content is the feed for your LinkedIn profile. Um, I mean, you can always share other people's content, but it's not your content, which means that LinkedIn give you that credit for adding someone else's content if you share simply by clicking it, which is an easy thing to do. Um, so that's my point on building your network and building it effectively, really.
All right, so here's my next question. So I've been doing quite a bit of, I've been on LinkedIn quite a bit this week. This is one of those weeks where I was like, you know what? I'm going to start networking. I'm going to start meeting different people. Now, what would you say is really good in terms of your, you know how there's the filter, right?
Yes.
And we just talked about, network and making sure that we're targeting the right people and we're being relevant. In terms of the filter, what would you suggest in terms of how to really get attention in front of your audience that you want to get in front of?
Yeah, so I will relate this question to this comment that somebody has put in, Mudassir has put in. The Mudassir, the situation is that just having a profile on LinkedIn does not automatically open doors to opportunities. You really need to work towards it. It's like having a resume and never applying for a job. You have a very decent resume, but you never apply for a job. Do you think you will get an interview call? You will never get an interview call. So the thing is that just having a profile, for instance, certain things, I cannot look at your profile at this point in time because I'm live. But what I can see is your picture. Your picture is not according to LinkedIn's guidelines, for instance. So if you are not doing things the way you should be doing, do not expect magics from LinkedIn, right? And this is what we coach. This is what we train people in. How do you build it up? How do you create a profile? How do you engage with people? And I forgot your question, Erika. Um, so LinkedIn will help you if you know how to use it. As simple as that. Can you go for your question? Can you ask your question again? Because I got so indulged into this comment that I forgot what you asked.
No worries. So it does relate actually to the last question, right? So you have your LinkedIn profile up, you know, you're posting content, but now you want to start either for a job or for any or just even expanding your network.
Right.
There's filters that you can use to filter out. So what would you say, or what are some of the things that you would use to find your perfect target audience to grab their attention, or to even look at posts, or even just to find people that you're looking for?
So again, I go back to the earlier point, as I said, targeting and relevance. So for instance, Erika, you are a social media marketing person and you're looking for someone, for instance, you have a project to build a network or make sales in real estate. For instance, you have a real estate broker and you are helping that real estate broker or realtor to do more business. What would be your target market? So that is a strategy part of this whole scheme that is usually missing. With most of the users that at least I work with, they really do not understand why are they on LinkedIn. And if they don't know the why, then how and what will never happen for them. So filters really help. And another thing, not many people understand where filters are. They don't use filters, so they leave everything on LinkedIn. So filters can actually help you fine tune your search. So, for instance, if I am looking for someone who is looking for a job, I would use hashtag to find those people who are looking for a job, and I can connect with them because I can help them through their LinkedIn profile, right? So hashtag is a very basic way of doing it, and that's a filter. Now, if you're targeting a company or like maybe 20 companies that you really want to work with or connect with, you can do that. So find those companies, find those people who are working in those companies, start following those people. So adopt that process, and this is all filtering process without actually going into the deeper side of the filtration that we have on LinkedIn. But the basic filtration process is that who do we want to connect with? I mean, who are like three people that we really want to build that dialogue? And this comes in the strategy part of the coaching program that we have. Is, you can be random, but again, that random will not work. Just give you an example. Now, this gentleman is a resume writer who is apparently a LinkedIn expert also, and he's selling his product in this live session. Do you think people will connect with him? There are chances, but the chances are that he's selling something, and selling does not work. Hard selling does not work on LinkedIn. So, Mohammed Anfal, if you are really interested in selling, learn how to engage with people, right? And if you're not engaged with people, you will never build that trust. So you have to build that trust before you start selling.
I agree. It's one of those things where if I pick up the phone and I say, "Hey, would you like this?" Everybody's going to tell me no, right? You're right, Hammad. You have to build that relationship. It's like a new friend, right? You don't just go up to people and say, "Hey, um, would you like to be my friend?" or "Hey, would you like to be my girlfriend or boyfriend?" It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, yeah. So this gentleman has again posted another similar thing. So what he's doing, he's killing his trust already by continuously posting the same cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste. And cut and paste does not work. This is one of the key mistakes people do when they're selling their services. Is they're just like they're being bought. You talked about like being bought on social media. So if you're a bot on social media, nothing will work. People like to connect with you, as a human. They are human. They want to connect with a human. Uh, Bot thing works for large organizations, but that's also very, very limited. So we have Matthias joining in from all the way from Chile, and Matthias is one of my course participant. He is in the logistics sector, and he is doing phenomenally, by the way. So good to see you, Matthias, and hope you will gain some interesting. Another interesting thing, people say hello and hi, and they don't communicate with you. So one of the thing, we have a list of things to share. What things you must not do uh, while networking. This is the weakest form of saying I'm not interested on social media. I'm just trying to be there, but I don't have anything to share. So you're not building your relationship. What is your opinion on that?
I agree. I think that some people are shy, right? And they just, they start, "Hello, how are you?" Blah, blah, blah. That's how they start a conversation. One of the things actually I got complimented on this week, and I actually closed the deal yesterday. I started the prospect on Monday and I closed the deal on Friday. And how I did it, and he was so impressed by how I did it, was I opened his profile. I put the filters in, right? I knew what I was looking for. I knew the type of audience. Put the filters in. I said, "Hello, how's it going?" And I complimented him on something that he did on his website. So I went from LinkedIn to the website and I gave him a compliment. I said the value that I can provide, how we can work together, and I ended it there. And we got on a call. Usually, when I do prospecting calls, I usually do like 15, 20 minutes. I was on the phone with him for an hour and I closed it because I started with a compliment and worked my way down to a partnership. So
Absolutely.
it's exactly like I said, I don't know if some of you guys were on the call 2 weeks ago. It's literally like going into a bar or going to a cocktail party. When you go up to somebody, in order to start a conversation, you'll say, "Hey, you know what? I really like your dress. I really like your sunglasses." Find something that you can connect them with. Or another person that I closed this week, or if you're looking for a job, what I'll do is I'll even try to find things that either a person that we're connected to, or if we're in a LinkedIn or Facebook group, and I'll say, "Hey, you know what? I saw you in this group, or if they posted an article, you know what, great angle on that article, really enjoyed it. Get yourself an angle. When you just write thanks for connecting, it's like, all right, you're just looking for a follower or a connection, which brings me back to the point earlier. You've clearly indicated that you don't want a partnership somehow, or a networking relationship somehow. And at the end of the day, you know what? You might not get a job today or tomorrow, but 3 months down the road, that connection, that work that you put into it, you might get it.
Absolutely. And just to share this story with you, so a client who got connected with me about 6 months ago, he migrated to Canada from Dubai. He was working as head of finance for a very large organization, and he got connected. We talked, and then I worked on his LinkedIn profile. He started getting interview calls. He had to go back to Dubai to close a few things there. He came back. He landed in GTA, and about a couple of weeks ago, he sent me a very long thank you message on my WhatsApp saying that he got a job, a very senior position in BMO, which is a financial institution here. And so he got the job through a contact who was my contact on LinkedIn. They got connected because he knew exactly what he was looking for, right? So based on that, he got connected with one of my contact, uh, who actually facilitated the whole process. So actually, if you think it from that perspective, it is so he did not sit idle expecting things to happen automatically. He was connecting logically with people, and he got connected with this person who facilitated the whole process. He got the job. He's very happy. Already 2 weeks in the job. So another mistake that people do, and as we talk about things we must not do while connecting or while building our network on LinkedIn, you connect with someone and you send your resume and say, "I'm looking for a job." Nothing will happen. Believe me, 0% chances, because you are not actually connected with this person. You are just greedy. You show your greed, and this is a psychological thing. Excuse me if you don't like my language, but we're trying to educate you. If you build your relationship with that person, you will have better chances of learning from that person and gradually getting into it. And you rightly pointed out, Erica, that you're going in a small like get together or a party, and you are kind of building that relationship with people you don't know. And
Exactly. And so by sending somebody your resume right away, that's literally going up to somebody and saying, "Hey, will you marry me?" You're just gonna look at them like what? I don't know you. What's going on here? You don't want to surprise people, right?
yeah,
You don't want things to be a shock. You need to build, and again, that's why there's a relationship. You start dating, and then you get married.
yeah,
Hopefully.
yeah. So it's an interesting comment from Kumber. He said, "I'm following your LinkedIn sessions, but you never give concrete instructions. I know you're doing business and motivate the people to join your business classes, but keep in mind that money is not always everything. Give your concrete advice and share your experience with people." So, Erika, are we not sharing our experiences? Are we not telling them how they should not network or what are things they should not do networking? Uh, I personally feel that the time that you and I are giving, I mean, we're already 30 minutes in the session, we may go on another 15 minutes, is the time that is our giving back to the community. The post you and I write, the guides, the free guides that we share on our LinkedIn profile, is the stuff they should take. Now, again, what I say, Kambar, for you particularly, is that you have to treat that information and process it. If you get the information and you don't process it, then it will not work. I have never pushed anyone to join in the class. I only say this is a class, this is a session. If you want to learn more, join in. And we all do the same thing, right? There are tons of coaches out there who do the same thing, but they all provide that basic information. This is what it is, right? If you can't handle it yourself, then you need a coach to work with you. As simple as that. Um, I mean, you are spending quite a lot of time, and Erica, you are very experienced, and you have a very well, pretty settled business. But how much money in the past 3 4 months, if you would like to share with them, have spent in your own coaching?
In my own coaching,
Yes.
so from other coaches,
Yes.
some of you guys are not going to like this number, but I've spent around $10,000.
Okay. Now she
Now,
doesn't need it. She doesn't need it. People will think, you have a business. Why would you need to spend $10,000? What did you get out of it?
you want me to be honest? So here's the thing. I think everybody at some capacity needs something. I used to be that person where, you know what, I'm just going to go on YouTube, I'm going to do it myself. And you get to a point where you need somebody else to coach you through it. And you know what? When you have somebody coaching you through it, you need to look at it this way. So some people are going to say, "What? You spent $10,000?" Yes, I spent $10,000, but that $10,000 made me 100,000. So you need to look at the ROI. And you know what? I'll continue to do it. There's another one. When I start making more money, I'm going to feed it back into another coaching program. So you have to look at it this way. There's the DIY, you can do it yourself, or you can fast track and have a higher ROI. The choice is yours. And again, I used to be that person, I'm just going to go on YouTube and do it myself. There's only so much reading and learning you can do when you have somebody. It's like going to the gym, right? I can go to the gym, I can do things myself. When I have a trainer, the results are going to be different.
Absolutely. So, and this is fascinating. So I'm a coach, okay, but I also take coachings, which means that I invest in myself. Ultimately, what I say and I preach also, investing in yourself is the best investment you can make. Now it depends on, of course, if somebody can afford $10,000, somebody can afford $1,000, somebody can afford $200. But that investment pays off. It investment and pays off quickly because I think in this session now, probably when I scroll down, there are people who have been part of my sessions, my coaching programs, and they are happy because they are doing much more than what they were doing 2 weeks ago. And this is what it is. And this is another question. I can't go immigration having responsibility to guide you to get work permit. This is not the topic. Legally, we cannot discuss anything to do with immigration or work permit in Canada. So you have to speak to a regulated immigration consultant, and I am bringing someone on a regular series in a week or two. Join in, and if you have any question, ask. Abdul Rafe, I'm new here, but I didn't want to join this because you both are updating us on a good topic. Thank you very much, Abdul Rafe. It's really, really great to hear this because people come in and then if they can get at least 1 or 2 pointers of this session, that's good. Erika and myself, we have done it. Namaste from Nepal. How are you? And from Mumbai up into Anju. Uh, it is important to inform friends who are immigrating to Canada that LinkedIn is the strongest network platform here. LinkedIn is not given enough importance in the non-Western countries pre-pandemic. It is definitely changing post-pandemic. This is true, Anju. People coming in. Most of my clients are Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, and Sri Lankans. They hardly pay any attention to their LinkedIn when they're back home. Uh, and even now in those countries, LinkedIn is really, really playing a big role. Like in India, for instance, LinkedIn has an office and they're investing million dollars in that market, in the South Asian market. So that's great. We have a question from Qasim. Erica and me, what would be a good research strategy for content development for a specific niche? Can you give examples specifically for advertising and design business? So, Erica, I will request you to take it because that's the advertising and the creative is your field.
Sure. Sorry. Can you just put it back up on the screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so in terms of good research strategy for content development for a specific niche, I'll tell you a couple things that you can do to find some certain keywords. So this is where I would dive into some SEO. A good place to start would be Google Trends, Answer the Public, even go online, type in a certain keyword and see how it's performing. That is how I develop. That's my first initial start to how I develop content. So this is what I do as well. You have to look at content in two different ways and marketing in two different ways. You have data and you have creativity. I always start with data first, look to see what's trending, what I can rank for in terms of my keywords, how I can even, get some visibility. So that's how I would even start my strategy. Use Google Keyword Planner. There's tools from Neil Patel. That's how I would start my content development strategy.
Yeah, and Erica, you have actually gone a bit more into technical details. If people who are not that technical, they do not know Neil Patel and the Google tools, for them, the easiest way is to use hashtags and search that relevant content on LinkedIn based on that hashtag and see what people are talking about and the most engaging posts and try to kind of build your content around those posts so you will get more visibility.
Exactly. And to go not on a technical level, use Google Trends. Literally just type in Google Trends, put your keyword in. It'll tell you, what kind of articles are performing on a very basic level. And the best thing that you could do too is just go, if you literally go on Google, type your keyword in, it'll give you some ideas in the Google search of what people are looking for or what people like you are looking for.
Absolutely. So if we only work on basics, you will start building it up. So there has to be a starting point. Alok Kumar asking, do we have any training on to send bulk connection requests to target a group so it will help to optimize the profile structured way? It will never optimize it. Profile optimization is very different from connecting with people, number one. Number two is when you send out, well, you must not use any external tool or with LinkedIn first of all because LinkedIn does not like it. And if you send too many connection requests, your profile may be blocked. Okay, so I'm being very careful in saying it. If you because LinkedIn will think that you're spamming.
Exactly. So this week I have the Sales Navigator tool, so I have the opportunity to send a little bit more. But even on that level, I have a limit, right? And at the end of the day, too, here's the thing, if you're sending bulk emails, people are going to know when you're sending bulk emails. That is why, like, what I do is every single day, I set time aside and I'll say, let's say in the morning or the evening, I will find, let's say, 50 people to connect with. Now, 50 people, what I'll do is, here's a little bit of advice. You can send connections, maybe send some in-mails, or even try to find their email and see how you can connect that way. So do a little bit of different options because you will get flagged. Even I got a warning this week, right? So, and what you want to do is as well is if you're sending let's say 1,000 emails that are bulk, people are going to feel it, right? You're going to get flagged. Your email is going to get flagged. Find things in there that you can personalize. You got to be able to engage. This week, like I mentioned earlier, I closed those deals because I got a compliment, number one, on how I in my approach. Number two, I made a friend out of it. We're actually going for coffee right after this. So think about, don't just, bulk is not going to work, right? There's a strategy that you need to apply, and also you don't want to get flagged. It's not good.
Yeah, and the other thing is that you have to look at like you have to. I mean, your ambition should be high, but it has to be driven through a strategy or driven by a strategy. For me, I don't send out a connection request at all. I mean, I hardly send out a connection request. Um, I would want people to connect with me. Yeah. So I built my whatever you may call it, reputation, trust, brand to a level whereby people are interested in connecting with me rather than me connecting. So from a very pure salesman point of view, if there's a need and you go to a shop, you will definitely buy it. And the reverse flip side of it, that you are convincing someone to buy. And I remember there was this great post which I shared. I'll just quickly browse and from Gary Vee and Erika, you and I, we both follow Gary Vee,
Mm-hmm.
and he actually said something very interesting. Let me just pull if I could. Yeah, he said, too much convincing. So many people are so focused on convincing someone about what they're gonna do. Just go out and do it, and then let them react. So this is what it is, and this is what I would tell Abdul Rauf to. You may not have the right strategy. You may not be connecting people in the right way. You probably are not building that relationship, the need that you may not be able to target. So this is what I can say. People will engage with you. They will start trusting with you. There's a 70 times rule on LinkedIn, and this is a rule that I did not create. This is a rule which people like me who are LinkedIn coaches, they have collectively kind of created it. The 70 time rule is that you comment on a post after seeing that person's posts for 70 times. So unless you have not posted for 70 times, don't expect someone to comment on your post. And if you don't do it consistently, then you're actually the longevity of that process will be different. Marty is asking what is a good or decent post engagement rate and how it can be achieved. Do you want to take it or you want to?
I'll let you take it first because I have a different opinion on it.
So your engagement has different components. Your engagement is simple like. Your engagement is a proper comment. Your engagement is somebody sharing your post. Your engagement is somebody actually putting in a logical comment or engaging you in a conversation. What I would suggest, look for conversation. If your post is engaging people to start that conversation, and it can just be one conversation, that's it. You made it. So don't focus on too many numbers. Numbers are important because this actually shows that more and more people are looking at your post. But then your ultimate focus should be getting one engagement, and that one engagement will really, makes the whole difference. Erika.
So I'm just going to add on to the last point that you said there about engagement. In order for people to engage with you, you need to engage with them,
Yeah,
right? So the best thing in order to get it up is engage with them first. Go to their post, go comment. That would be my first step to start getting it up so then people can start recognizing you and seeing the value that you provide to the world. Second thing that I would do is to really get your engagement up is to ask. So again, it's not necessarily about numbers. What I do that I've across all social media that I found super helpful is start with a question, right? In the post, start with a question, almost have a conversation, not with yourself, but as if there's a dialogue going. That's what I've really found that helps get the engagement going. Um,
absolutely.
and again, I wouldn't look too much at the numbers. At the end of the day, you need to be consistent and engage with other people, right? It's like going to, a cocktail party and everybody's on their phone. Nothing's going to happen if everybody's like in their corner, not talking to each other. So
Yeah,
when that happens, the best thing to do is go out there and just shoot a bunch of messages, engage with people, comment on their post, put your opinion out there, do what you got to do.
absolutely. So just one more example that I really want to share with you. I'm sure a lot of people engaged in this conversation today. this is a conversation that you and I are doing, and people are also part of this conversation. Um, I really wanted to start a Hindi and Urdu live session for people in India and Pakistan and Dubai and Saudi Arabia, because the conversation that is going around at the moment is mostly in English language, right? And it is easier for people to understand things in their own language, right? So I was thinking about it, and I reached out to Seth Godin, for instance. So Seth Godin is a famous person, and those who don't know Seth Godin, please go and look who he is. And I actually asked him if he could allow me to use his blogs to build conversation in Hindi and Urdu. And he responded. He said, "Yes, you can go ahead and do that. Just don't translate it, because I cannot like see the translation. I cannot understand the translation." Now, coming this a personal email from Seth Godin to Hammad Siddiqui is a big thing, and it started by because I had actually put out an interesting piece of email to him, and I don't mind sharing that very quickly. With those people who really need to learn how to start that conversation. And I said, "Hello, Seth. Need attention, please. I've been your follower since years. I'm thinking of discussing your blogs in my clubhouse and LinkedIn Live for one of the largest communities that speak Hindi and Urdu. Will you be okay for me to do that? Idea is to pick a blog and generate discussion around that. So the ground around that content to help Hindi and Urdu speaking communities in India and Pakistan to benefit from your thoughts. Look forward hearing from you." So just this conversation started kind of a couple of emails, and then he approved it. So the thing is that if we don't start, we will not get. So it has to be a strategy. There is an interesting thing from Shazad, and Shazad is asking about my LinkedIn mastermind group. Shazad, thank you very much. So what I've created is a LinkedIn mastermind group for all those people who I train, I coach. I don't use the word. I should not use the word train. Coach in working on their LinkedIn, or developing their LinkedIn strategy and all that. So this mastermind group, Shazad, uh, will come together and work with each other to help each other. So it will be a facilitator group, because you have certain expertise. I know other people have certain expertise who are part of this group, and you're more than welcome. I'll send you an invite to the group, and this group will be working together and strengthening each other through their wisdom and knowledge and the capabilities that they have. And I will moderate the group, as simple as that. So this mastermind, the only condition is I cannot open it up for everyone. I have to be absolutely sure that this person understands LinkedIn and how LinkedIn works, and then that person or persons will become part of this group. So Shazad, you're more than welcome, because you have been part of my training sessions, my coaching sessions. Yeah, I'll send you an invite. So thanks for spotting that. Um, yeah, Anju, I know you're busy. I know you're busy, but you will be good. Mm. Speaker Samana Vavana who actually found a job because of their LinkedIn. Yes, sure, definitely. As we move on, there are other plans that we have. Um, Very useful discussion. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you. Thank you, Noor. Um, Absolutely. And your headline has to be searchable. As simple as that. I don't know who this person is, but headline has to be searchable. Um, all right. You should be searchable. As simple as that. If you're not searchable, if your profile is not aligned, so if a recruiter somehow stumbled upon your profile, and your profile is not what a recruiter is looking for, you will never get a contact. So people are finding jobs. There are 24 million jobs available on LinkedIn. That LinkedIn's data. 55 million companies, 800 million people. So they must be doing something on LinkedIn. That's why they're on LinkedIn, right? Companies don't have time to waste. There are 55 million companies on LinkedIn, right? So think about it. Towards knowledge. Okay, no, this comes under the influencers category. So if you want to become an influencer, you have to have a strategy to become an influencer, and that's the missing part of everything. And this is what, when people come on my coaching sessions, this is what we learn. Erika, all right, Erika, kudos to you. Uh, Sam, thank you very much for being with us, and thanks for your comment. And I hope you get something out of it. Um, so I
Oh,
don't know. It's like it was a comment made like half an hour ago. So I don't know what we were discussing at that time. But thanks, Tori. Um, Absolutely meaningful note. Culture diversity group, diverse culture, culturally diverse group, different personalities, experiences, authenticity. Absolutely. Now, why people connect with Erica? Because what she is doing is backed by her uh, capabilities, and she's being authentic. So what she is doing is absolutely workable. So whatever she's selling is something that people need, and they trust what she says. So she's an expert in doing it. If you do not build your trust, and if people start finding that you are kind of lopsided or you are just weak in certain things, people will stop following you, and that is going to hurt your reputation. How leverage my CEO contacts who are my direct colleagues? It's an offline discussion, maybe, but as Erica and I've been discussing, build that network. So if you are not connected with these people, reconnect with them. As simple as that. When you reconnect, they will appreciate. Erica, you want to say something?
yeah. So with those contacts that you have prior, if you have their emails, when you sign up for LinkedIn, it'll tell you how to add every single one that are on LinkedIn.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So yes, absolutely. I mean, that's the typical thing that I get all the time. But and sometimes people say they send me a CV and said, "I'm looking for a job in your company." I've never advertised one. So what means that they're just shooting it to a large community. They're not targeting. Waqas, thank you very much, Waqas. Waqas is joining all the way from Dubai. Uh, Connection versus followers. If you have more followers and less connections, is there any impact on in networking? I mean, you can only have 30,000 connections, as simple as that. Yeah. And there are other ways to kind of build your communities on LinkedIn. I mean, we have discussed this podcast again. You can build your community by creating groups, for instance. Yeah. If you have groups, you can directly bring in people who you really want to connect with. And they could be anybody. They could be your followers, non-followers, connections, non-connections. Ultimately, build your community. That's the message. If you build your community, you will become a you will become a superstar. Okay, all right. So that's great. So that means actually you have done something right, and now your LinkedIn algorithm is recognized. So you're getting credit from LinkedIn's algorithm. This. So if somebody could understand how LinkedIn's algorithm can help you, you will rock. So gradual approach, you only have 350 connections, and if you're getting 14,000 views, this is great because you have been consistent. Because you have been putting out quality content and you're very, very targeted towards your niche, which is structural engineering. And you are probably the only one. I do not know any structural engineer who is actually putting out uh, quality content on LinkedIn. So great. We wanted to do it for half an hour, but we are still going, Rika. So I'll just try to quickly see. Um, yes, thank you very much. If there are anything, Mubashir, thank you very much. Mubashir is also a social media uh, professional. based in Pakistan, and I've known Mubashir for almost 10 years. Mubashir, he came to me as a young graduate, and Mubashir and Noman, they're both friends, and they were starting as the university project a news website for news, and in local language, Awami Web. So it's a portal where they put in the news. So this is going on for almost 10 years now, has grown in a tremendous business, and they are now an agency. So Mubashir, myself, and Noman, we are trying to build something in the Pakistani market for LinkedIn, and this is how network works, right? Um, and it's a long process of building that trust. Uh, Matthias, you are right. If I am getting a coach and if Erika is spending thousands of dollars in learning new things, moving quickly in the league, then we all need a coach. Kim, thanks for joining in. You're absolutely great. Um, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Um, yeah, cover story is good. Hello, Vikas. Thank you. I'll just quickly go Doreen. Yes. Yes, Kasim, thank you very much. Yeah, this is what it is. Yeah. Thank you, Anju. Thank you, Jay. Hello, Fauziya from Algeria, all the way from Algeria. What's the subject? It's LinkedIn networking. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. Um, yes, Usman, this is what we do. This is what I am doing. This is what Erika is doing. This is what Mubashir is doing. This is what Doreen is doing. We have certain services that we are offering. B2B, the most effective B2B platform is LinkedIn. We need to know how to use it. All right. Erika, you want to add something here?
I was just going to say LinkedIn is a fantastic uh, place for B2B, and I do all of my B2B sales on LinkedIn. So 100%.
Yes. So we don't know what your questions are, Regina. I could not find one. Uh, Maybe I missed it. No, I don't find any connection, any question from you. So this is what it is. Today's session has gone up to 1 hour, and we only planned it for like 30 minutes. If you like it, please share this live session. Just push share button, and you will be able to share it with your community, which means that you're going to spread this knowledge to more people. And believe me, and we keep saying it, all of us who are on social media, using social media effectively, instead of seeking, become a giver. When you become a giver, you build your trust, you build those relationships which you have not even imagined of. And once you build those relationships, business will start happening. Your network will start building up. Uh, you will find jobs because people now recognize you. So become a giver, and you will see things will start happening for you. So these are my closing remarks. And by the way, my next session is starting in on 20th of June. If anybody is interested in joining in, please drop me an email. And if you want to connect with Erika, and you should all be connecting with this is a platform to build connections, a network. Connect with each other. You may find someone to help you, to work with you. Regina, you need my help. I offer a service, LinkedIn profile optimization service and LinkedIn coaching. Yeah, you hire the service, and I'll be happy to work with you. And if you're interested in just like some free information, then please go ahead, and or you can hire Kim's service for LinkedIn optimization. She does it too. So what I say is that there is no competition, absolutely no competition. I can go and join in live sessions run by Gary Vee or Andy Foot or whatever, and they would welcome me, and I welcome everyone who is there. So yeah, so I will shut up because I'll keep talking. Erika, last concluding remarks from you, and then we'll close the session.
Sure. So yes, I agree. There's no competition. We're here to help everybody out. And I also hope that you guys from this session help each other out. Feel free to send me a message, ask me questions. Also, drop a note so I know as well how we can be a mutual benefit to each other as well. So I do get a lot of requests on a daily basis. I'm sure you guys do as well. Let me know how we can help each other out. I'm always looking for partnerships, always looking to network. But don't just add me for the sake of adding me. Just as we talked about from the first premise of the webinar.
Yeah, and be objective, because see, time is the essence, and we all are so busy that we really need to evaluate certain things before we accept a connection request. So, with that, thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. It's been a phenomenal session. Wait for the next one coming up soon, and stay connected with us. You know, comment on Erika's post. Erika if you comment on Erika or my post, I've got close to 50,000 connections and followers. You will see your visibility increasing. If you comment on Erika's post, you will see her visibility increasing. Work with people who are followed by people. Okay, so thank you very much, and let's stay connected and enjoy LinkedIn and grow on LinkedIn. This is what I always say.